Hey guys, welcome into Chinwaggers episode 1. My name's Noah. This is some of my best friends, Abbey Weldon, Brian Hess. Join us for a Chin-Wag here on episode 1, and we're eventually going to get to nostalgia. The plan is to talk about nostalgia, but I thought I would open up with what is a Chin-Wag?
That's something we need to talk about.
That's something we need to have figured
Everybody
out.
I've told about Chinwaggers nobody's ever known what a Chinwag is.
It's like, what is a Chinwag?
Yeah.
No.
Well, not only that, what is a Chinwagger?
Exactly.
Well, yeah, the hard thing is, and here's the reality, is half my life is shooting the crap with my friends.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
whose life isn't that? And so a Chinwag is like a more 70s, 80s, 90s term for getting together with a bud and just shooting the crap.
Yeah, chatting it up.
It's technically British, right?
It is
It
British.
is. It's a
British
British
slang
term.
term.
It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a British slang.
Yeah. It's like saying, it's like if you got home and your wife was like, so what'd you and, so-and-so do? Just kind of hung out and talked. You just say, we just had a Chinwag.
Or we just chit chat. Like
Yeah.
that would be
Yeah.
our version
Right.
of that, like a chit chat.
Yeah, just a chit-chat.
Yeah, but it's a
more
Chinwag.
Chinwag. And we're Chinwaggers.
Yeah.
Because we're doing the chin wagging. So we're the Chinwaggers.
Our chins are literally wagging. Does that make sense? It's a whole reality of existence.
hate that. Our chins are wagging.
I'm not a...
That is not going to be on our branding.
I want a video of Brian's chin separate from the rest of his body.
It's like
Just
talking.
wagging. Just the bottom part of his mouth.
That should have been our whole brand. It's just like half
Just
of Brian's face.
half of Brian's face down.
Oh,
No, but yeah. And so the plan today, originally we were going to talk about, we had a really interesting conversation the other day where Brian really disagreed with with Rosa Parks not getting up out of that seat on that bus. And I thought that is so, like, that's a hot take. On like, he's like, I just disagree. Which like kind of sparked the civil rights movement in a lot of ways. It's like, that's insane. But
Brian
we
is
decided to
wild.
pivot. We decided to pivot off of that and talk about nostalgia.
It
Because the first thing that actually led to us doing this was talking about nostalgia.
Yeah.
And here's what happens is you're on Instagram or TikTok, or wherever you get your social media, and you're just going through reels, and a reel comes up that talks about your childhood, and it's all snacks, shows, and sounds from your childhood,
Yep.
and it just ruins your day.
Yeah, it's literally like painful to me. Like it actually physically hurts me sometimes to see the things that like I used to remember as a kid and I think I don't know if it would be as painful if I felt like our kids would experience that. But I think there's like a level of pain that comes when it's like, not only is this nostalgic for me, you won't experience that because of the day that we live in.
I think that's why it's painful.
So I'm just gonna throw a wrench in the whole thing.
Here we go.
It's like, I didn't really have a childhood, so I don't really know what nostalgia means.
Brian's like, back to Rosa Parks. I just want to clear some stuff up.
I was like, guys, we didn't have a TV. I only had the one toy. Like, I don't know.
And a couple of jigglers.
Abbey, they don't know what jigglers are, and I'm
Another
not
episode.
prepared to talk about
We're not
that.
going to
We'll
talk
get
about
there.
what jigglers are.
We'll get there. Actually, this may be a good episode for that.
This is a good episode.
Yeah,
Share
it
with
is.
us what
Anyways.
a jiggler is, Brian.
But here's the thing: is that like I don't experience nostalgia the way you guys do.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't feel like you experience emotion the way that we do.
Half the reason you're on this podcast is because you're basically like a robot. So you don't ever you don't ever see anything and think like, oh my God, like if I could have that one more time, that moment, that type of thing. Like, like I even think about the joy of like, do you remember in like middle school and high school, and you would just wake up whenever you wanted on a Saturday morning, and it was just like the day ahead had nothing, like no plans, like it was just free to be.
Yeah.
Like that's nostalgia. You don't have
Brian's
any
like,
of that.
I do that now.
Like, that's a normal Tuesday.
Brian's like, I'm
Brian's like,
unemployed.
wait.
I've got nothing going on right now.
Brian's like, you guys don't do that every day?
You know what I mean?
No, I mean I get it, but I think you guys I think you guys experience nostalgia more than most people.
It's called depression. You should try
I just
it.
don't like. I find that you guys talk about the old days more than a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like the amount of times you bring up like Kmart and the fact that Kmart's gone, and I'm like, dude, nobody else misses
It's
Kmart.
pretty sad.
Yeah, but I feel like Noah is less nostalgic of like his childhood memories and more nostalgic about like the branding of a 90s or 80s experience. Like I think Noah gets sad. Like when I get sad, I think of like I just was on Pinterest the other day and I saw this picture and it literally like it brought this memory to the forefront of my brain that I didn't even know that I had. And when I was little, we used to have these like little tiny round pots of lipstick, like lip gloss. And it was, yeah, they were like little pots, like that you like rubbed your finger in to like put it on like as a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Vaseline.
But it was like, but not that. And it was like half gloss and then like half like a creamy, I'm not explaining this well.
It was a creamy Voss.
It was like partly glossy and then partly creamy. And it made like this like wheel texture looking
So you
situation.
put the cream part on and then put the gloss over it?
So yeah, like you just like rubbed your finger and it like blended the two together to like put on your lips. And I remember being like, I had those. Where like Noah's more like the movies doesn't look like it did in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
And it's like that's sad for me, but it's not as sad as knowing that like there's certain little things about my childhood that I remember.
Yeah, I just don't think I just don't like change. I
Yeah,
don't think
I
that
think
I enjoy that stuff changes.
That's probably
Yeah.
one of the biggest differences
yeah.
because you don't like change.
No, I could
I'm-
have the same like
Yeah.
restaurants, places. Like I don't like when stuff. Here's the thing. Here's what's sickening, is stuff. There's restaurants, shops, stuff I would never go into, and when they leave,
You're like,
I'm like I'm gonna go like listen to like West Coast emo in my
Yeah.
shower alone.
Like if O'Charlie's closed down.
Yes, and I don't even go there.
honestly, in the last time I went to O'Charlie's, I was like, I'll never come here again.
This would be a great moment to say, guys, today's episode is brought to you by O'Charlie's. I'm just kidding.
our sponsor.
No, but
Yeah.
like that stuff does bother me. I don't like change. I don't like when things get different. And I don't know really why. You know what I will say? I will say this. I think a lot of people didn't like love their childhoods.
Sure.
I think a lot of
No, it's
people
like not speaking about anyone in particular.
yeah, I'm not talking about anybody in particular, but like if you grew up in like Illinois, more poverty-stricken town. No, but I really loved like my childhood, and it was special and it was nice and I enjoyed my life.
Yeah.
And it's not like I say that as if like now I'm miserable. Like I have a great life. But it's like I think even having a kid more makes you want to like have them experience your experiences.
That is what's sad to me. Is like
Yes.
like all of like my kids' friends, except for like a few of them, like with the exception of a few of us, are gonna have like iPads and phones early and all of those experiences that like growing up as a kid, I didn't think about going to an event or something or going to like a Friday night football game and being like, all my friends are gonna be there with like their new cell phones or their iPhones. Like that just wasn't a thought.
Well, and
Yeah.
you
It was
used to be
together.
You
Like-
used to be able to just be local. Now you're like a
Yes.
Yeah.
global person.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Like, I never thought outside of my town.
no.
And now the whole world has to know me.
Right. I do see what you mean.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because there are certain things.
Ryan literally just starts crying.
It's like,
We're like, no, you say it like
is-
that.
We are unlocking some deep things right now I was not prepared for. No, but I think back on like when I think about my childhood, because obviously like I like video games.
yes.
I still like video
Okay,
games.
period.
Yes.
Nora-
I would not get that from your look.
Nora is she's our oldest daughter. She already likes video games. She's
Yeah.
only
Yeah,
6.
sure.
She's about to be 7. And so like there is this element where I look back and I think that video games peaked with N64.
Yeah.
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 I think
The original Xbox was pretty crisp.
I mean we had some good times playing Halo.
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure. But
N64 was
N64 I'd say was like peak
Yeah.
gaming. It's
Yeah.
perfect.
Well, and it wasn't about like gaming now is about immersion, like escaping your life. I don't think it was always that way.
No. Well, because you had to have your friends over to your house to play together.
You
Yeah.
had to have friends.
It was like a
couldn't just-
social
You couldn't
thing.
play online.
I couldn't just hop online.
Yeah.
And eventually
and now
we
you
got there.
can. Yeah, it didn't take long. But yeah, like it's all those, like when you see them play a game and you go like, you're never going to play. Like, I'll tell you which one kills me. This stuff could make me go insane. When I was a kid, we used to get, for Christmas, we would get like these bars of soap. Like for Christmas in our stockings, we always got all of our toiletries. Sure. And we would get these bars of soap. And the bars of soap were basically like wrapped in their own version of like a loofah.
It was like a mesh loofah.
Like a mesh. Like you didn't have to have a loofah. And they were always like blue, green, and red.
They smelled like scented erasers. Like they had that like strong, fruity scented eraser
And we
smell.
got them, that's the only thing we washed our bodies with.
Like we were betting on that.
Yeah. And
Which is probably why-
I realize that we have not said this yet, but me and Abby did grow up as brother and sister.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Brian.
You grew up
would
as
like-
brother and sister
Yeah.
as if like we're not
Brother and sister, but we used to bathe ourselves together in one bath as if we were brother and sister.
That was the worst way you could have said that.
We
That's like when I talk about you to other people, I always accidentally use like the past tense. And people are like, no, it's not
Is your
dead.
brother dead? I'm like, Abby was so special. She was so funny.
Yeah, we are brother and
when we used to
sister.
bathe each other, but when we used to, like, that's all we used was those.
Yeah.
And like, I just saw a video the other day and it was like, it's always those like, you'll never get your childhood back. And it's always like it's like the sound of a mourning dove, like, hoo, hoo. And it's like, like little like chimes. And it's like you're going back into your child. You know what I mean? They always have a mourning dove. And like one of the pictures was those bars of soap. And like, all I could think of is like, I'm going to throw myself in my fire.
Well, that's those lipsticks for me. That's what I mean. Like there's these certain things that you're like, I remember using this or having this as a kid.
Yeah.
Like makeup phones were huge.
Yes.
Like now literally girls at 10 go to Sephora and get like legitimately grown. There are 8-year-olds wearing like a full face of makeup, which is fine. That's not the thing. It's just like sad to think like, oh, like I used to have a tiny phone with lip gloss and sparkles in it.
It's just all like, yeah, it's just different. Like Benjamin will probably never wait for a show to come out. Maybe.
Yeah.
Like more streamers are getting into that, but like I used to always have to wait for like a Drake and Josh to come on at like 7 p.m. on Thursdays on Nick. Like,
Sure.
like that age and day is gone. And now like when I was like 10, like the cool thing was like getting like a Nintendo DS and like bars of soap.
I was just thinking about Nintendo DS.
And now it's like Nike Air Force Ones.
Yeah.
Like how far
Which,
have we
honestly-
fallen?
I was thinking about Nintendo DS.
I used to get the thong
Finish that sentence quicker.
flip flops.
Let's
I used to get the thong flip flops that were $1 at Old Navy, and that was a Christmas present.
Is calling them thongs a Canadian thing?
Thong flip flops.
Yeah. It's not American.
I think they're just called flip flops. I think when you say flip
Other
flop,
places
you
call
automatically
them-
know it's gonna have
Well,
no
they're called
covers.
thongs in other parts of the world.
Yeah.
I didn't
They're
know if that was
just
a
called
Canadian
thongs?
thing. Yeah, like
Well, it's the only ones
Like
that
I'm
are
like,
called.
guys, I'm come out in just a
The
second. I
only
gotta throw on
ones
my
that are called
thongs.
thongs are the ones that go in between your toe.
Okay.
yeah,
Like the other ones are like slides.
yeah. But in America, we don't really call them that.
Yeah.
What do we call them? I say, what do you call them?
Flip-flops.
Like I'm not American.
Flip flops?
Flip-flops.
Because
That's what I'm
the way they
thinking.
I
flip
feel like
and flop
flip flop is a general term.
when you walk in because they flap against your heel.
I say like flip. When do they flip though? That's how they flop. When do
they
they
flip
flip
on the way down and they flap on the way up.
They can't be right.
I hate that.
That was nasty. But like that can't be real. The thing is, I think flip flop is a generic term. Like you could say sneakers. Then there's tennis shoes, basketball shoes. Like I
Yeah.
think flip flop is
Yeah.
a general term for
Yeah.
all. Like thong sandals, like are
They go between your toes.
slides.
Yeah.
You go into.
No, you're not wrong. I'm just
Okay.
saying, like, you guys are Canadian, so I was wondering
Yeah, like
maybe.
because
that's
nobody in
something-
America calls them thong sandals.
Yeah.
It's so hard being like European sometimes and different.
Yeah.
But you were saying like kids will never have a Nintendo DS again.
No, and I remember when I was younger, one of like the really big things like that me and my friends would do is like there was a couple of us that had Nintendo DSs, and you had like your own chat in Nintendo DS, like on the thing. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like your own, like, maybe you guys are too old.
Oh yeah, DS
had,
chat.
like,
You could
had
message
DS
your
chat.
friends.
But the funny thing was, you had to be in like in a 10-foot proximity to be able to chat. And at that point, why are we chatting on
you
our
might as well
DS?
talk to each other. You had to be on that couch. I had to be on this couch. You had to be like,
I'm gonna blow your mind.
Oh gosh.
I never had a DS.
What? Not even like the original ones with the
not
the
a
long
DS, a
ones?
Game Boy.
Yeah.
Game Boy.
But wasn't that Nintendo?
In Nintendo Game Boy, but it's
Okay.
not a DS.
At some point, I may have gotten a Game Boy.
I got the purpley see-through one for Christmas one year.
You could like
Picture it.
see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brian's like, I had a VTech gaming system.
I had a Tamagotchi.
My parents one year took me to a Goodwill and said, get whatever you want. Under $20.
I actually did have a Tamagotchi.
No, I had a Tamagotchi.
And I
had a
ate that
Tamagotchi.
You know
up.
what's crazy? They're coming back. Katie was just showing
They
me last
are.
night. They have Star Wars Tamagotchis that we were thinking about getting one for the girls.
Yeah,
What do
they
you-
have
I don't
them.
understand. What do you
Like
raise?
one is like a baby Yoda. One was like a little R2D2.
Whoa. If I knew anything about Star Wars, that would be so cool.
Abby. That's awful. It is weird because in the same way I do mourn and I'm like very nostalgic for the past, a lot of stuff is coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah, but some stuff not in the right way. Like they just rebooted the Wizards of Waverly Place TV show. And I get what they're trying to do because I think they're trying to
The
bring
reboots
back.
always suck.
But the reboots always suck because it's like a more, and I can't tell if I don't like new Disney kid shows because I'm not a kid anymore or if it's because they're trash.
Here's what bothers me about those. I had this thought yesterday. I was watching, someone posted a video of the top like 20 cringiest Nickelodeon and Disney show like moments.
Okay.
And I'm watching them and I watched all those. Like Camp Rock is almost unwatchable.
Let's slow down.
Camp Rock.
Slow down.
I watched the video of when he's doing the dancing and he flips the microphone. Joe
Yeah.
Jonas.
I feel like that was a moment in history for all of us.
It's like make you want to vomit soup.
I don't know. I think I'm just older enough than you
Just
guys.
older?
To have.
or
Sorry.
like quite a
Not
bit.
seen.
Brian's like, do you guys mean like Pete's Dragon? Do you guys mean Chitty Chitty Bang Bang?
I think there's a generational thing.
Well, there's a
To where
lot.
I missed a little bit.
Sure.
Especially Abby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's-
Because
Yeah.
you're like, what?
She's so much younger.
Brian's
like 48?
42.
Sometimes I hear Abby talk and I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't even know. Like you're so much younger than me. It's crazy. But then sometimes I'm like, we're the same. Like we're the same age.
There's not one conversation we've ever had that I've thought we're the same.
So, but there were all these like moments from all these shows, like whether it's like High School Musical or
Yeah.
Drake and Josh or anything, and they're just horrible. And then I thought to myself, first I thought, well, let me give myself some grace.
Yeah.
Because I was watching it as a kid and like back when I was like 13, 14 and 15, I thought this was hilarious.
Yeah.
But then I realized, but adults are writing this.
Sure.
The worst part
True.
about it is that adults were writing it. And it's like I've tried so many. When Disney Plus came out, I got super excited, all your old shows. And then like Paramount got all the Nickelodeon shows, almost all unwatchable.
Okay, so I don't agree. I feel like there's only a handful of ones that I feel like were not, like I couldn't do it. But most of them felt watchable. Like Lizzie McGuire still holds, like still stands.
That one's not bad. That one's a little
Even
older.
Stevens still makes me laugh.
Okay, maybe I'm thinking those ones are good. It was
That's So Raven,
No.
I think it still holds up.
No,
It's so funny to me.
their jokes, I'm like, this is terrible. Like it's bad.
But I mean, you think about shows
What
that
did you watch? Let's go through like the shows you watched in like middle school.
Brian's like, have you ever heard of Murder, She
were-
You ever
Wrote?
heard of Seinfeld?
We were a Seinfeld family.
Okay.
That was like, I don't think it's a stretch to say that I was like partly raised by Seinfeld.
Yeah.
Like Seinfeld, like every single night. And it was to the point
and
that
you loved that. Like that
Like you
wasn't
guys
like
watch
we
Seinfeld
did that.
every night.
That wasn't because it
Yeah,
was like my
'cause-
family did that. That was like, no, like Brian was just as passionate about Seinfeld.
Well, yeah, it was like it was
Okay.
the Hess way, and so like every night, and it was to the point that because this was like pre-DVD even, so we had a VCR and we would record them every night because they'd come on at like 6, and they'd be like they'd probably have from like 6 to 7 you'd watch.
Yeah,
2
honestly,
Seinfeld
probably like
episodes.
6 to 9.
Okay.
And so every night we would record them. And so my parents probably don't have them anymore, but we had a box filled with VHS tapes of just Seinfeld reruns.
And so that's all you watched.
And nobody at the time could get the actual like episodes on like a DVD format.
There was no, this was pre-DVD.
This was 1964.
Brian's like, I'm not even talking about the Seinfeld we have today. I'm talking about the one before that Seinfeld.
the original.
The original.
No, but like this was before they were like selling like TV series
Wow.
on any format.
So you
Like,
didn't watch
the only
any-
spot you could catch it was like when they were running on TV.
So you didn't watch any like cartoons?
I mean, we did. I grew up on like, I'd watch Dexter's Lab.
Are
I'd
you a
watch
Cartoon
Tom and
Network
Jerry.
kid?
I
Okay.
grew up. I did more Cartoon Network than I did like Disney.
Oh,
and
okay,
Nickelodeon.
that explains a lot.
That-
So wait,
yeah,
just
that
for
explains
the reference,
everything.
what year were you born?
I was born in '90.
Okay, and Noah, you were born in what?
1994.
And I'm 99.
I lived a whole lifetime by the time you were even born.
It's like me and Tom and Jerry, we went places.
You know what though?
That
like,
show is painful. You want to talk about a show that's painful?
I like Tom and
That
Jerry.
I
freaking
loved
cat
it.
is always trying to kill that mouse,
like
and
Tom and Jerry.
nobody's sticking up for the mouse.
nobody
Okay.
cares.
Okay. Do you want to know the other show that marked my childhood? Because I was homeschooled. You guys were homeschooled.
Yeah,
But
Ladies and
Yeah, we
gentlemen-
were.
Ladies and gentlemen,
here we all are.
here we go.
so here was my routine. I would wake up and I'd
have a
some
couple of
breakfast.
jigglers.
Jigglers were not a breakfast food. Abby. Don't.
I would wake up, scream in the shower.
No, I'd wake up, I'd get some breakfast, and then I would watch. Oh my gosh, I just went blank. Price is Right, and I watched The Price is Right 5 days a week.
Here's what's crazy.
Brian's like, I read the newspaper, drank a cup of
Yeah,
coffee.
you hardly have like any like childlike things about you. But I was like, I would get up, I would check the stock market, put on Wheel of Fortune, smoke a
Brian's
cigarette.
like, kiss my wife goodbye for work because she's going to work.
or no, I was like, kiss my old lady, and then head out the door. Like you, it's weird that you don't. I wonder if that's a part of the reason why you're not nostalgic is because you've always been old.
Nostalgia is literally like you're
Nostalgia's
living
for your
it.
childhood, and you never really had one.
I do think I was also the youngest of 4, and so I do think like because even like we have 3 kids, and I
Yeah.
can already tell like the more you have, the more it's just like whatever's going on, you're just gonna
Yeah,
you're
it's
just gonna be a part
yeah, it
of
is what it is.
Yeah.
You know, like like life gets tailored less and less to the individual kids as you have more of them.
Sure.
You
Yeah.
know? And so I think by that, because I was number 4, my older siblings were like way older than me. And so
Yeah.
I think by that time,
They just
it was like, look, we watch Seinfeld.
yeah,
That's
we're
what we
just an
do.
adult family.
So
yeah.
to go back, you'd wake up, you'd watch The Price is Right,
Yep. Bob Barker.
and then you would do school?
Have you ever watched that? I don't think you've ever watched.
I mean,
The
like I've
Price is Right.
seen it on TV, but I wouldn't watch
that
it.
was peak.
I don't think she's ever like really sat and watched The Price is
But
Right.
I wouldn't say that I've really sat and watched many game shows.
That
other
was-
than
that-
maybe
we
Family
grew
Feud.
up a Family Feud family.
We were a Family Feud family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Who was your host? Like when you guys were growing up?
It's the guy before. It was the guy before.
Was it Huey or whatever his name was?
no,
remember him?
It was the guy who does the dog show on Thanksgiving.
I don't know what his
You
name
have
is.
to know. I don't watch that.
Oh my god!
You have
If
to
you
know.
don't watch
I'm
the
not
dog
spending
show
my
after the
Thanksgiving-
parade, hold on.
Brian's like, we don't do Thanksgiving.
Let me
We
look
watch
it up.
Seinfeld.
Brian's like, I would never let my kids watch a
Because
cartoon.
what's the guy now? Is he Steve Harvey?
It's Steve
Yeah,
Harvey now.
Which he's hilarious.
Yeah,
John
I like Steve
Hurley.
Harvey. Steve
Do you have a
Harvey's done
picture of
good.
him?
Yeah, yeah. This was our host.
Let me see.
Oh my gosh. He was
Yes.
literally in Seinfeld.
That literally.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He's Elaine's boss.
Yeah. Peterman.
Brian's like, I've pretty much seen Family Feud because he
Brian
was in
basically
Seinfeld.
everywhere he goes, Brian's like, I ate fries today. You know, they have fries in Seinfeld. I got in a car. You know, cars are in the show Seinfeld. No, yeah, he was.
I didn't know he was a host.
He hosted. Yeah, it was.
He was really good too.
He was. It was him, and then Steve Harvey, and before him was the guy from Home Improvement,
Right. Al.
Al.
Right.
So just to bring it back, you never watched you watch like cartoons, but you never watched like a.
Because you would have been around for like Even Stevens.
Yeah, the only thing I can think of
Lizzie
is
McGuire.
Okay.
I've seen it, but it wasn't like those.
I was
were
like,
never,
I listened to it on the
my
radio. But it's like, and that may be why, because like I literally watch videos, and it's like, you know, like, do you remember like you get done with homework or whatever, and then like you're in your room and you're just like you're watching Fairly Odd Parents, and you're watching Jimmy Neutron, and like you're eating supper, and it's like,
And they always
that will never come back.
Not only that, they always give you the setup. Like you're in a pair of like pajamas that are 90s. Your bedroom looks like the bedroom from something in like an early 2000s show. Like they set it up to where literally after
They're
you think like, what is
forcing
life?
you to become an alcoholic. And here's the weird
They're
thing.
trying really hard.
I will say the weird thing about nostalgia. Here's what gets weird about it is I don't want to not have the life I do now, and I want that life again.
Sure.
Does that make sense? Like, I want to be 10 again.
You're not nostalgic because you're unhappy with how your life.
No,
is
I want to
now.
be 10 again, but I also want to like be married to like my wife and have my son and be an adult.
Yeah.
And yet there's a piece of you. I just think there's this moment where you realize like once you turn 21, you can get stuff back. Like you can do the stuff you did at 21. It may not always feel the exact same, but you can.
Okay.
But when you're 10, you're never getting that back. You're never getting that complete.
I kind of am tracking with you.
You know what I mean? Like,
kind of.
and the reality is, and I think a part of nostalgia is unfortunately responsibility.
Yeah.
Like, there's a piece of your childhood where you're just not responsible for anything.
Yeah.
You're not thinking about a bill. You're not thinking about your income or your future or retirement or your kid's nap schedule or anything like that. And not those things are bad, but there's something about like, and I think the problem is you are, and when you're 10 and 12,
Yeah.
I feel like I sound like that kid. You know, when you like, and when you, no,
I've
when
never
you're
been
12
to the Powerball
or 10,
before, but
when you're 10 and 12, all you want to do is be 18.
Yeah.
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 You know what I mean? When
Yeah.
you're like 9, all you're talking about is what are you going to do
Yeah,
when you
you
get older?
daydream about what it's going to
You
be
want to be
like.
able to drive.
When you
to
can
be-
drive.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so then you turn 18 and you're like, I would give
anything
anything
to be 10.
to be 10 again.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
And
And also I think there was something about not feeling bad about wasting time. Like I think now, like if I was to do
Oh my
something
gosh,
mundane,
that
like
is
watch
such a good
TV
point.
That is,
or
yeah.
like, I don't even know, like color or do something random, I would feel so bad that I wasn't doing something productive.
Right. Quote,
Or
unquote.
like,
Yeah.
productive.
Yes.
But like years ago,
Yeah.
like when you're a kid, you don't think about how productive you need to be and what's wasting your productivity.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, now, because if you take most people don't know this on the podcast, but both Abbey and Brian are completely unemployed. They don't know. I'm just kidding. No, but when you take a day off and you do nothing, you literally sit there the whole time and think, you are so useless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like and back then it was like,
No, it's like you literally sit and you think like, you are the worst human ever.
do y'all just sit in the shower and cry sometimes on your day off? But there's a reality where like when you're young, you don't care.
No, yeah.
You're just living.
It's true.
There's
Yeah.
no concern. And I think too, there's a bit of when you're a kid, you are less, as an adult, even though you fight it, you do often care more about opinion. What
Yeah,
you
you
dress, how you talk, what your interests are, all that stuff becomes a larger aspect of your life. And I think when you're like 11, like you just put on what was in your closet.
I do think though, like I don't think that is as true for kids today as it was for us when we were kids.
That's true.
Because so much of our lives is lived online. It's lived in comparison to
Yeah,
like,
it's true.
you know,
It starts way
so
earlier.
It starts way earlier.
That and I feel like I was a bit of a fashion icon at 10.
I disagree. While Abby had, I don't know how this happened, but my mother bought Abby like 3 or 5 sets of like
Velour tracksuits.
velour tracksuits.
Yeah.
And
Like
I
pink,
lived in those things.
blue, brown.
I had like a burgundy, like
Burgundy.
a purpley
Yeah.
burgundy
I think
one.
I've seen
Here's what
pictures.
gets bad though. Halfway through, because that's all she wore, whether she rotted out the armpits or the crotches on them just depended. But whatever happened, she ended up with just mixed matched peaches, mixed matched pieces.
Sure.
And so she would wear the purple pants and the brown top, or the pink top and the purple pants.
I was changing fashion.
She looked like she belonged. Like she looked like a pimp. Like it was awful.
You act like that's a bad thing. You act like being gangster is a bad thing.
She was 9. It was so bad, but I think you're right. Like,
yeah.
I think, and that probably goes with every era. Like kids in the Great Depression were probably more worried about eating than they were like, having fun for the day.
There's probably a sense of entitlement.
So every generation changes, but our generation was really good about not caring. And this generation, even at 8 and 9 now, is like, no, I have to be cool. I have to say this. I have to sound like this. And like 9-year-olds have TikTok. Like, when I talk to 13-year-old kids, like we're not even on the same planet.
No.
I don't understand their language.
I do honestly think it's predominantly because kids younger and younger are being exposed to social media and to trends. And because like when I was a kid, like I just had whatever. And I mean, I'm not gonna act like I'm indifferent today. But I just had, I had a couple t-shirts and
a couple of shirts. When I was a kid, like what was trendy was to get in the bathroom and turn off all the lights and say Bloody Mary 3 times and then turn the lights on.
Yeah.
I was a little too young for that.
Yeah.
Mine wasn't that. We had the Slender Man. Did any of you know Slender Man?
I feel like I've heard of that.
I feel like that's a movie, isn't it?
That sounds like a movie.
It maybe came as a movie, but I think it started as like some, I don't know, trend. Or we used to have those things on Facebook. Do you remember where it was like, you've got a message from an angel, send to 5 people or you're going to hell?
Yeah.
Or like send to 5 people and you're not a Christian?
I remember.
That still goes around.
Yeah, that's still live.
Is that really still going on Facebook?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Who's sending these?
Old people.
Old people run Facebook.
But do you think that old people think that about us?
If people 55 and older couldn't be on Facebook, Facebook would have shut down as a platform.
But do you think that people think that about us? Like, do you think that like when old people started seeing us grow up in the 90s and the 2000s, they were like, kids these days will never know what it was like to be a little kid.
For sure. Because I will say this, a part of nostalgia too is mourning an existence you never had. Like, I will say, I personally think that half the reason Stranger Things is as big as it is because 90s kids wish they were 70s and 80s kids.
Yeah.
And 2000s kids wish they were. There's a reason everyone dresses now like they're from the 80s.
Yeah, and the 80s that was a big year.
Like I had a small pinch of like being able to ride my bike places, but not like that. Not like anywhere in town.
No.
Like I would have given anything to have been like a kid in the 70s or the 80s. Like I will admit that I mourn my childhood and I'm nostalgic about it, and I will admit that like every couple of years, even in my own childhood, like childhoods are getting worse. Like to me, like the era would have been the 70s, 80s to have been a kid.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like by now, like I feel so bad for my son. Like, good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah.
It's just not going to work for me.
That, and I also feel bad about the idea of like trying to like push my childhood on my kids. Like, no, guys, you're going to love this show.
Yeah,
like, I swear you're going to love it. Like, I don't want to be like, if he wants to watch a news show, like we've had this conversation multiple times because Brian is very passionate about this. Like the day that my kid comes to me and says like, can I watch Bluey? I'm going to be like, what did I do wrong?
Yeah.
Hey, who did I hurt?
Sure. Yeah. You guys are definitely in the majority here. Sure. Go ahead.
Also, Brian
many people talk
Brian has stock in Bluey, just to let you guys know.
Brian is a Bluey fiend.
They literally
Brian cosplays as Bluey, but not like a Comic-Con, like just in his house. No, yeah, it's one of the, but like I do think like every generation of being a kid is getting worse and harder.
For sure. Definitely.
I do think our childhood, like the 90s, even in the like 2000 to 2010, which was more your childhood.
Yeah.
I do think that was like the last era to like enjoy being a kid.
Yeah, because I did get a flip phone at 7.
You did.
It was like an old Razor. It was like a purple Razor that somebody had.
And you still had like traditional video games. You still had to watch shows on TV.
Yeah, and even when I had a Razor, like back then you didn't just text your friends. And your friends didn't have phones. Like you were the only one that, like I was the only one that really had a phone because that really wasn't a thing.
Right.
It was because somebody had asked my parents like, hey, are you okay if I give this old phone to Abby?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like we didn't text, you didn't FaceTime, you didn't do like all the things you do now.
But you had to pay for texts.
And you had to pay for text. So like
I
for
told
me it
my
was
guys
literally
the
a
other day,
phone to call.
I told some 13-year-olds that the other day, like one of my birthday presents was getting unlimited texting because I went from like 250 to 500 to 1,000. And then like for my birthday, I got unlimited texting.
Yeah.
Which is crazy to think about, a time where we weren't able to like, because now all we do is text.
Yeah, I would never call someone. I'm not insane.
Yeah. I mean, you FaceTime me every day.
I do FaceTime you.
And me.
And you. FaceTiming
And he always says it's about work, and then I get on the phone and it's not about work.
Because FaceTiming is like Star Trek. It's like future and past.
Yeah.
Phone calls are just
I
the
remember
worst
the
of
first
both.
time I FaceTimed a friend and was like, this is insane. Because especially with Disney Channel, everything that was futuristic was like you got on your computer and you like FaceTimed your friend before school and was like, what does this outfit look like? You know, Rebecca.
Yeah.
I remember thinking like the day that I could do that,
will be the day your life changes.
my life changes. And then I got FaceTime.
Isn't it funny that now when someone calls you, you're like, I would do anything for you not to be calling me right now.
Well, we've had conversations about all moving to flip phones before.
We have,
I know.
out of defiance, but yet here we are.
But here we are. And now I don't even know if I could
to
get
use the
around
restroom.
without a phone.
Yeah, y'all keep going. I said
Can we
use the restroom.
pause?
And we're back. And that'll just be a nice cold cut. Guys, that was a cold cut. We just had to take
don't
a
like
quick
that.
little potty break and have a cold
Okay,
cut.
stop saying cold cut. so many
Sponsored by Subway Cold Cut Combos. If we get a bunch of sponsors for this, I'm going to kill the Segway game. I'm going to segue into sponsorships like no one's ever seen.
Sure.
Anyway, we were talking
Sure,
about
for sure.
phones and flip phones. But you know what's funny?
I would love to have one.
I
do, in theory.
The other day I was thinking though, but like, it's so funny how now like that's a big thing is like to have your phone on you. And it wasn't that long ago that when you were gone, like when you had to go to run errands, you were just gone.
Yeah.
Which
No
is
one knew when you were
crazy.
coming home. And it's not in a bad way, but like my wife will always be like, okay, I'm leaving Walmart. Hey, I just
Yeah.
got to Aldi.
I literally get a notification. Like if Katie's at Walmart, if she uses the credit card, I'll get a notification so I know she's checked out.
Yeah. And
it's
like,
just like-
Bailey's always
it's
checking
just-
in at every
yeah.
location. Like she's geo snapping me.
Yeah.
And like before it was like, all right, I'm going to go out. When are you going to be back? Couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
One thing
Couldn't
I've
tell
thought
you.
about getting for my house, because Adam and I, which is my husband, do have like this idea in our heads. I don't know if we'll stick with it, but we have the idea. It's like really not let our kids have technology
Yeah.
Yeah.
and really stay away. And we did think about how sick would it be to have a home phone, to
I
like
would
have
love
that
that.
slice of your
Yeah.
childhood that your kids experience of like, if you want to call somebody or if you have an emergency,
Yeah.
get on
Honestly,
the home phone.
even more than emergency, like it's fun to call like your grandparents from
Yeah.
your home phone and have like an actual just phone call with them versus, you know, whatever. I
I think they're going to get on FaceTime.
yeah, I think they're going to want to see them.
I was like, how about writing letters? Letters
I'm
to your
like, here's the
grandparents.
thing. Me and Bailey just bought a horse and buggy and we're going to kind of just go around town and get our groceries via carriage. But yeah, like I do think I remember thinking like it's insane that like a guy would just go to work, maybe go like do this, go grab that. Like if you've ever watched the show Mad Men, it like he works in the city of New York and then they live like outside, like he takes the train home.
Yeah.
And like sometimes like he would just need to go get dinner and stuff after, and like sometimes there'd just be no phone call. Like you would just go,
Right.
like your spouse would be home when they were home.
Or worse, your spouse goes to the store and
They never
you
come back.
forget something, and so you like text them.
I mean, I don't go to the store usually without like texting Katie at least one time.
Like,
Being
Right.
hey,
what-
you need
like,
anything?
what was that thing? Or like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you imagine not being able to do that?
That's what I'm saying. But like in a way, it's freeing.
yeah,
is.
I
definitely.
think there's a bit of a lack of freedom, and I think nostalgia plays into that because I think you're always wanting an era in which you don't live in.
Yeah. Yeah. Or even just like I think
I'm a
about,
thinker, man.
which I don't even know if this is considered nostalgic in the sense that it's a memory for me as much as it is just a memory as a child. Watching Disney shows and their mothers were making them like a 6-course meal for breakfast.
Yeah.
They would drink like a half a sip of
Yeah.
orange juice and be like, all right, mom, gotta go. There's like 18 pancakes,
Yeah.
45
Yeah.
eggs,
Yeah.
like 18 bagels. I'm like, what childhood was that? Because I don't think any normal child had that.
You know what's funny is somehow in your childhood, cereal is breakfast, and then when you become an adult, cereal is a dessert.
Yeah. It's a 10 p.m. or later snack for me.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't eat it a lot.
I don't tell a lot of people this other than on a national podcast. I could definitely I could finish off a meal with a bowl of cereal. Like people would have like a pie.
I mean, it kind of makes sense.
Like a piece of pie or a piece of cake.
Because it's like milk and cookies.
I could eat a really good steak dinner, and then while people are eating pie, I could have a bowl of Cinnamon Toast Crunch. But yeah, that whole thing of mom would wake up, that's an era that's gone.
Yeah.
You wake up, you eat breakfast together around the table. That's a whole other form of nostalgia where you're like, man, everyone lived a little, you know what it is? I think I'm going to get to the root of my own nostalgia today. This is a great therapy session.
I was going to say, by the way, this isn't actually a podcast. This is full on therapy.
Guys, this episode is brought to you by BetterHelp. No, see, I can segue. I think that a lot of the nostalgia I deal with now is the simplicity of how this feels like the most complex generation and time to live in ever.
Mm-hmm. Can you imagine how people felt who grew up in the 40s and the 50s and they got to the 80s and kids had TV dinners?
Oh my gosh.
They were probably this generation is ruined.
Ruined.
Yeah. That's why I even say the 80s was such a big era because shopping malls really started to become a thing. 80s, 90s, TV dinners, sitting around with your family to watch TV for dinner. All of those little things that
well, yeah,
it really set the course
and
for
now,
us.
someone was saying the other day, they're making homes now without dining rooms because
that's insane.
Families don't eat around a table, so they're actually eliminating dining rooms.
Crazy.
It's
Which
insane.
is kind of sad.
It is sad because everyone sits around a TV, and I say that as if we don't.
Sure.
Me and my wife sit around a TV and we eat dinner. We're not eating dinner at the table like psychopaths. That's what you think in your head.
Yeah.
You're going to sit in your living room and watch a show while you eat dinner.
Yeah.
It's hard to go the opposite way. And so I think a lot of my nostalgia is even a way of simplicity because now, when we've talked about this before, but even now, one of the things that's just changed is before, if you were in a small town, you wanted to open a dentist shop. You wanted to become a dentist. You went and got your degree.
Yeah.
You went to a nice town. You opened a dentist shop. You were kind to people. You did dental work. And you did that and you retired and you died. And it was really sweet and a beautiful life. Now, if you open a dental shop, it's we've got 20 locations. We have a huge platform online. I post all my dental surgeries.
Yeah.
I'm a TikTok dentist. It's vomit soup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The simplicity of just existing is gone.
Yeah. And I think I'm trying to figure out
Capitalism.
if there's a way that we can bring that back for our children. A way to keep that innocence and that the mundane alive of be bored.
Yeah.
One of the things that I feel like kids don't experience because of technology is true boredom.
Yeah.
Yeah,
where you sit in your room and you go, what the heck do I, what do I do?
That's where imagination comes
There's
from.
nothing to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And a lot of creativity
sound
is
old.
comes from that place.
It
yeah,
does.
from just
Kids
being
aren't-
bored.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so so our kids are a bit older than yours. And so we're at this point where they are interacting more with technology. I mentioned Nora she likes Xbox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And so it's not we don't let them interact with that stuff. But we've been super intentional about you girls just go outside.
Yeah.
I don't really care what you do or
Just
how long
find
you're out there.
something.
Just
Yeah.
go
Just
outside.
don't come inside the house.
Yeah, just go outside and be out there for a couple hours and get dirty, do whatever you got to do,
Yeah.
but
Don't come in here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's real because and you know what's sad? And I can attest to this sometimes myself. Now kids can't even just do one technology thing. A lot of kids have to play a video game and have a YouTube video going and they're
While streaming on
FaceTiming while they're
YouTube.
streaming someone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We've become so accustomed to needing 20 things
Yep.
to multitask. And I think I think that's a piece of nostalgia is I think I miss the simplicity of my own life as a kid. And then also a simplicity I never had that I wish I could have had.
Yeah.
There's no such thing now as local.
No.
Yeah.
You don't ever
Yeah.
shoot to be a local something.
No.
You know what I mean? Everyone shoots to be a global thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Which would be a great moment to say, I will say this. If you could like this video and subscribe to the podcast,
Globally.
that would be great because we're trying to be a global podcast.
On that note, are we ready to introduce to people
our masterpieces?
our masterpieces?
Should we do it?
Yeah, I'm gonna
should
say I'll just say it one time so
Explain
people
what it
know.
is.
If you don't have a friendship like this, first off, I'll say don't have friends. Get new friends. Half of our friendship here together is really just sharing the worst side of social media with each other and just looking at the worst pieces of Instagram and TikTok videos in existence. And we've all become, in my opinion, curators of some of the best Instagram, TikTok content.
Just sometimes you just want to know, like, what, like when you made this, like what, like, it's not the idea
What went through
itself.
your head?
Yeah, it's like, how did you get there?
Right.
Yeah.
My video is making me think that. The video that I added to our masterpiece is making me think like,
Okay.
it's not that you didn't do it. It's how did you get there?
All right, you ready? Let's hit the video. Hit the video, masterpieces. Awesome. Okay, here we go. Okay, so we're going to start with Brian Hess's masterpiece.
Here we go.
Okay.
And the others haven't seen these.
We do not watch these before
So
this. This is Virgin Eyes.
We each submit one that the others haven't seen.
Yes. I
this is
actually
Brian's.
have a surprise second one today. All right, here's Brian's.
You know who else likes peanut butter milkshakes? My mom. Can I get a peanut butter milkshake?
Sure.
Thanks. Charlie Gun Show. Get in the car.
What
Operation.
in the world?
Get peanut butter milkshake. Get in. Get in. Get in now. It's not a game. I'm not Muriel.
Is it that your mom's name?
Chicken drive-by.
Chicken out, dude. Get the chicken out. Oh, God.
I am so confused at what is going on.
He had his hand inside a raw chicken though. And he threw it out the window
He had his hand in a raw chicken.
the whole time.
Is it one of those like big cameras?
One of those that
The
obviously has
wine
that
angle?
like
Somebody literally said every dream has a meaning, and then it said my dream.
That is the worst.
It's terrifying.
But that's
thing
one of those
I've-
things that's like what drove you? What has happened in your life that led to the point where
This
you're
is
making
who you
Guys,
are.
like this is top
video?
tier humor. Let me
This
go get a
is-
raw
is-
chicken
yeah.
from the store.
I'm gonna get
My
one of those
mother
weird
made-
cameras. I'm gonna the way he drinks the milk and it runs all over him.
And it's so like you hear it in the video. Oh
Like,
my
how
god.
did you get there?
Oh my god.
All
Okay,
right.
here's Abby's.
Okay.
This is mine.
Is it a chicken giving birth? Abby. No.
I've seen that one
Abby,
before.
no.
Have you not seen those?
I don't
seen
think
a
I've
few.
seen that.
Oh my gosh, it's
I thought we were showing chicken vaginas on our podcast.
And it's just his mouth.
It's just his mouth. Why does his mouth look like that? That is
And
disgusting.
That's
again,
amazing.
back to this idea of like, who's like, do you know what I'm gonna do?
yeah.
I'm gonna put an egg in my mouth to make it look like an egg butt.
I'm gonna cover my face in feathers.
No, my thought was, did he first go, I don't know if you guys are like, if you squint, does my mouth look like a chicken crotch? Something about my mouth. Okay, so here's mine, and I want to give a backstory
Okay.
because mine is educational.
I have a feeling that
I don't
means it's
believe that.
not.
I
It
really don't
is.
believe
It's
that.
educational.
Okay.
He is giving us an understanding of something. And here's the thing. Here's what's crazy. Is at one point you think it's going to be like this whole thing, and then there's a twist.
Okay, but just let us see it though.
No,
'cause
but
I don't
I
want
have
know.
to explain because there's a twist in the middle of it. Okay, so here we go.
Okay.
And I really want you guys to. I'm gonna get the volume up so you can really hear this one.
Here are 3 signs someone you know may have made a deal with the devil. Number 1, you notice them start to wear more evil colors like red or black. Oh, this is just a coincidence, I swear. Anyways, number 2, they have a rather interesting music taste.
So you're just thinking this is like an educational video on how to know someone's made a deal with the devil, right?
Sure.
That's all it is.
That's exactly what I was thinking watching this.
Sorry, got a little carried away there.
Okay.
But number 3,
Here comes the
their hair
twist.
starts to resemble devil horns. No. I can explain. So you finally found me out, huh? Well, I sold my soul, and in exchange, I can attack you through the screen. Ah!
Was that not like the biggest twist you've ever seen? So this whole time you're thinking he's just explaining to me what are the signs of making a deal with the devil, not realizing that what's actually happened. He's made a deal with the devil, and now he can attack you through the screen.
He's literally like, Mom, he's like sitting in the kitchen one day and he's like, Mom, like, I have this brilliant idea for a video.
Get the camcorder.
And the whole time you're watching, you're thinking, "Oh, this is just good
He's
information."
like, Mom, get the camcorder. Also, he's like,
I was
do you have
taking
a red
notes.
t-shirt?
I was taking notes. Like, this is good information to have. Okay, so if someone made a deal with the devil, they'll start wearing like more black and more red.
Which is funny because you're literally wearing red and black.
Guys, this is so.
Oh my gosh.
I thought that was super. So here's my bonus one that I have.
Okay.
This is our inaugural episode.
So weird. I
one.
didn't know we were doing bonus ones.
Yeah, isn't that
Like,
crazy?
It's so funny how that happened.
Well, this one, I want you to understand, this video means a lot to me. I've watched this video a few times. And this girl, I'm going to give you guys another backdrop. This girl is just receiving calls from different people, FaceTimes, and determining if she wants to take them. And she just likes to post videos of like these random calls coming in.
Sure.
And so this is the call she got yesterday.
Let's see who's calling me today. The military? I don't think No, thank you. I'm good.
You think it's going one way.
All my videos are just like a real big twist because she looks and she goes,
Yeah.
and you're thinking, oh, she's gonna be like, I'm not mature, like jokingly. And she just goes, the military? She goes,
I don't think
not today.
No, I'm good.
Oh my gosh.
I think that is the definition of good content.
That is, listen,
Here's the thing.
I want a round table with these people.
That's what I want.
I want to like, let's get some ideas flowing, guys.
Yeah.
Let's get the devil. Let's get her.
And the problem is, I just can't tell if people are super isolated and don't have a lot going on.
I don't know. I think it's just that people are iconic.
This is the tip of my iceberg of my curations because I've got videos for days of people and I'm just convinced that just people will do anything to be famous.
Sure.
And honestly, like sometimes I'm thinking same.
But at the end of the day, there is good information. Like if you see someone wearing black and red and their hair starts to resemble devil horns.
Like
Yeah.
we know.
Those are the signs.
I always would have thought that was just like a coincidence.
No.
But now I know.
And they start listening to like different music.
yeah.
They
Yeah.
go from like Dixie Chicks and they start listening to like screamo bands.
Right,
Yeah, and
yeah.
you know, like these people are not. They're not good. They're not doing good.
Yeah,
Something's
that's
going
all
on.
those videos are. It was just a nice educational video. He made another one that I almost shared, and it was 10 reasons why you should be a samurai.
Okay.
Those were great.
I
can
feel like
only-
I don't even need 10.
Well, I was going to say, I can only think of like 6 or 7, so I'd love to know the other.
Listen, and here's the best part. Number one was that you don't see a lot of samurais around anymore.
Which
Sure.
it feels like
Fair
reason
enough. Great.
enough. I don't need
Great
10.
reason.
I don't need 9 more.
Yeah.
Great reason to have them. Great reason to like get into that. Are you guys? We're getting close to being done. Are you guys? One of the things I always love to ask: are you guys watching anything right now?
Oh, you guys are gonna make
Show
fun of
wise,
me.
movie wise, we've started. We are in the 2nd season of Lie to Me right now. Have you ever seen Lie to Me?
I have, yeah, it's good.
So here's the thing. We've tried it twice.
Tried it?
Yeah.
What?
I found that even within the first season, I felt like every single episode was exactly the same. There was no variety. I'm sure it gets there. I'm sure.
Brian's like, it's
I
a
don't-
show about
I
them
actually
solving crimes, and it just felt
Brian's like, I kept watching NCIS the other day, and it was always the Navy crime investigative team solving these murders. And I thought, when
it gonna
does the
stop?
change come? Where's the gravitas? Where's the...
There was just, it was all, I felt like I just watched the same
Do you not
episode.
watch any of those types of shows, though? Like NCIS, CSI?
No, we have tried some in the past.
You're like,
but even like,
you're like so smart.
I'm
like,
shocked you didn't like that one.
I thought the premise was gold.
good.
Yeah, the science is crazy.
Yeah. I just didn't find that it was going to offer enough, I don't know, variety.
Okay. Brian's like, I watched...
He's like, so I just went right back
Brian's
to
like,
Seinfeld.
I watched Planet of the Apes the other day. I swear
like,
the
"It's
whole movie
about
was about
monkeys."
monkeys. I watched Lie to Me. It was just about people being liars. It's insane.
Yeah, but are you telling me there aren't any shows in that nature or in that vein that's like,
I think there's
Better
some
than that. I
very
get what you're
interesting.
saying.
I don't want to give anything away, but the second to last episode of season 1 where he kind of goes against that like narcissistic mass murderer. That's a
Sure.
that's a
It was
pretty
intense.
compelling
well,
episode.
and again, like I'm sure if
I'm
I
sure
gave
it's
it
good.
a longer shot, characters would develop more, plots would
Well, it got
thicken.
canceled abruptly. It's hard to get into a show that cancels abruptly.
Yeah.
How far did it go?
3 seasons.
I think it was, 3 seasons, and then they stopped.
Yeah.
Not enough viewers.
You know, no. He said that with such an attitude. No,
like, seems to me like it was kind of a flop.
We Googled it last night. Actually, it's because he wanted to stop. Tim Roth.
I wonder why.
Not enough variety. It's like every episode, I'm solving a crime where someone's a liar. And I thought like 1 week would be a cooking show. 1 week would be about how to build stuff. You watching anything?
I am. Don't make fun of me. I am currently, like, I've been in the last probably 2 years in like my 90s, early 2000s phase. Like I want to watch shows that like I didn't grow up with.
Yeah.
So like last year, I really got into Dawson's Creek because I was like,
Classic.
I was little when that came out.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm really into the OC.
Whoa.
Yeah. And honestly, I'm eating it up.
That's an old one.
Yeah, it's about the 90210. I love shows about the 90210.
Yeah.
You know, kids that are just like, they're rich and they're surfing and
It's like sex
just
and
wanna
money and football and
they just want to have
drama.
a good time.
yeah.
Adam said to me the other day, I was watching it and he was like, are you watching a soap opera or soap drama? I was like, first off, none of that's correct. But second, no, I guess it's
Bailey
not that.
started watching Gossip Girl, and when I
Oh
hear
my gosh, I'm so
when I
happy
hear
about
Gossip
it.
Girl in the background, it makes me feel like I'm getting dumber.
I literally, her and I text about it all the time.
Gossip Girl?
Yes.
XO.
I've not seen any
Are
of
you
those.
watching
Not a
anything?
single moment of any of those.
Any of those?
So if you're not watching Lie to Me, what are you watching?
I've really got into nature documentaries recently. Did you know that
At this moment, I don't think we're watching anything new.
you're a reruns guy?
You are.
Yeah, I am a
Seinfeld.
reruns guy.
Brian's like, we still VHS record episodes of Seinfeld on TBS.
I'm just worried that like the whole DVD
The whole
industry's going to
DVD
go
industry
away.
is going to go away. We won't have any streaming.
Streaming. Yeah, we're not currently watching anything.
You guys not watching Severance? Not
new.
Severance, but Shrinking?
Oh my gosh, I'm ready for Severance.
Oh, we are.
I'm
For some
watching
reason-
Shrinking.
Yes,
Have
we're
you seen
watching
Shrinking?
I haven't. I've heard it's good.
You're
Oh
right.
my God.
It's good.
Shrinking is so
I need to
good.
watch it.
This season
It's
2,
better than the first one.
I've we've both cried multiple times. It's
Really?
there is a
It's one of those-
ton of like emotional depth to it.
It's
I've seen the
it's all of
trailer.
it. It's comedy.
Yeah.
It's depth. It does all the stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've seen the trailer. It looks good.
it is.
It's really good. Jason Segel,
He's
Harrison Ford. Jason Segel's a great actor.
he's just so funny.
I've never, honestly, I don't think I've ever seen him in. Well, I'll take that back. I will stand on the mountain that the worst show to ever come on television, ever, is How I Met Your Mother.
I knew you were gonna say that.
I think How I Met
I
Your
think I've tried to
How I
watch
Met
it
Your
and I don't
Mother
think I've enjoyed it
is the most
either.
unwatchable form of television I've ever seen.
yeah, it doesn't hold up to everything else in its genre. It just doesn't.
No. Anyway, if you notice anything different, we had a cold cut.
I hate that.
I think we only need to refer to those as cold cuts. I think we need to start an episode in one outfit
And then throughout the cold cuts change.
We change outfits with
Honestly,
each cold cut.
I hate how much you're saying that word, but I wouldn't hate if I had a cold cut right now.
Listen,
But a
guys,
cold cut sounds pretty good.
Could you imagine if this episode was sponsored by Subway's cold cut sandwiches? Icy cold cut combo.
Okay.
Well,
Anyway, I'm pretty sure this is going to wrap up episode 1.
yeah, thanks for sitting with us and having a Chin-Wag.
Having a Chin-Wag. Episode 2, we're going to talk very interestingly about Brian's opinion on the Iraqi war. Should we have gone? Should we have not? And Brian's got some dicey stuff he wants to say. I'm not gonna lie, some dicey opinions.
It's gonna get weird.
Things I would not think that an American would say about it. I'll tell you that right now. No, we'll see you next Friday. Thanks for tuning in.